Hello everyone. Previous class we have studied about center of gravity for different cross-sectional, different geometric section like rectangular, triangle, circle, semicircle, quarter circle. Okay, and one problem we have solved, that is T section problem. So this is our third lecture. In this lecture, in the lecture 2, I have given one problem, the channel section, to find out the center of gravity. Means you have to find out x bar and y bar. X bar means x coordinate center of gravity, y bar means along the direction of y the center of gravity distance. So some students have already calculated this value and sent me in WhatsApp. So but most of the students did not calculate. For them I want to do this problem here only. So in this problem you can see this figure is symmetrical about, you should first to know about x axis or y axis. So draw a line first about x axis. So this is x axis because it is horizontal line. So if you cut the section through x axis section, then you can see that the section will be divided into two equal parts. This is section 1, suppose this is section 2, so it is divided into two equal parts. So this is symmetric about x axis. So the y bar distance would be calculated by just half of the total distance. So this is our axis of reference. So total length is our 100 mm. So y bar will be directly, you can write that is 50 mm. No need to calculate. If you want to cross check this value, you can calculate by using the formula a1 y1 a2 y2 plus a3 y3 by total area. You can calculate, this will come about 50 mm, but no need to calculate. If the section is symmetric about x axis, y bar will be just half of the total length. If it is symmetrical about y axis, then this will be half. See the previous problem T section, this was symmetrical about y axis, so I just take x bar as half of the total length. You can see the problem 1. For any doubt you can ask me later. So this is y bar, just we have written directly. Now we have to find out x bar. This is our problem because along the y bar this is not symmetrical. The section is not divided into symmetrical parts. So x bar is the main problem of this question. So how to calculate x bar? Always write the formula before calculating anything. a2x2 plus a3x3 by total area a1 plus a2 plus a3. I already told in the previous class why I am writing 1, 2, 3, because the section can be divided into 3 parts. Suppose this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So calculate now. Suppose a1, area of rectangle 15 into 15 into x1. x1 means what? From the center of gravity to the axis of reference. So this is the last line. So this is the axis of reference. Always the last line will be our axis of reference. Along the vertical direction this one, along the horizontal direction this one will be axis of reference. So this is a1, x1 will be half of this. So total is 50, so half will be 25 plus this is one term. Now a2 x2, this is section 2. This area will be 15 into this distance. So 15 into how much this distance? Total 100. 15 15 minus, so this will be our 70 mm. So 70 into 15. This one area into x2. x2 means center of gravity to the axis of reference. So total 15. So half will be 7.5 mm. This is second term plus third term a3x3. So a3 how to calculate? Length into breadth 50 into 15. That is a3 into x3. Half of this, that is 25. Total is 50. Half will be 25. This area will be similar to 1. So you can directly put that value, no issue. By total area a1 that is 50 into 15 plus A2 15 into 70 plus 50 into 15, that is A3. So if you will calculate this value, then you will get the x bar value is 17.8 mm. So this is your answer for x bar. This is the center of gravity value. Again I am explaining. First you have to see the diagram is symmetrical about x axis or y axis. If it is symmetrical about x axis, then calculate y bar just half of this total length, that is 100 by 250, that is over. Main problem will be x bar because it is not symmetrical about y axis, just opposite. So to calculate x bar, just calculate a1, a2, a3 first, then x1, x2, x3. x1, x2, x3 is the center of gravity distance from the section to the axis of reference. Axis of reference means the last line. Okay, then you can calculate the value, it will come 17.8 mm. If any doubt, you can ask me in WhatsApp. Okay, so this is all about center of gravity. Hope you can solve all the problems related to center of gravity. Next, the last part of this chapter, that is moment of inertia. Okay, moment of inertia, you can write mi, also you can write moment of inertia. So in engineering mechanics you already studied what is force, what is moment. Moment of inertia also you have studied. So moment means what? Any force into perpendicular distance to the line of action. So that will give you the moment. So moment of inertia means what? Moment of moment. So force into distance, that will give you one moment, into the perpendicular distance again, that r, that will give you the moment of inertia. Okay, so the moment of inertia in strength of material you can calculate by taking two methods. One is method of integration, that is the most important method you will solve. Suppose this is a section, this is x-axis and y-axis. So by the integration, I already told, by integration method we have to calculate. Integration means integrating the total area. Integration means one type of summation. So before taking the total area, we should take one small area before integration. So suppose the small area denoting as dA, that is a small area, and after integrating this area, the total will give you the moment of inertia. So suppose the distance, you have divided number of sections like this, dA, 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 all are dA, then after integrating it will give you the total area. So dA, suppose I am taking suppose one section only dA, after integrating this, suppose the distance is in horizontal direction y, and the center of gravity suppose lies here, and the distance is suppose y. So by two method you can find out this moment of inertia, by taking suppose x, otherwise y. By integrating, just our moment of inertia will give you, suppose integrating this one, I am writing summation because same thing, summation here, integration, that is dA into suppose x square. So if I am writing x square, so it will denote the moment of inertia about y axis because it is perpendicular to the x direction, this line. So moment of inertia I can write about y axis. So you can write x distance here. So someone will tell how to calculate x distance. Same thing, the summation of the total area into y square, because y bar that is y direction distance is perpendicular this x direction moment of inertia. So if you are writing here xx, then you have to take the distance y. If you are calculating inertia about y over axis, then you have to take the distance x. So like this you can find out the moment of inertia value by just integrating the total area into x square into y square. This is the theoretical part. While doing the problem it will be more clear. So now the moment of inertia, the most important thing you should take care of unit. In every case I will tell, whatever we study further, the unit of every term you should know. So you can tell the area unit, suppose m square या फिर mm square, and x square means that is also meter square. So total will be either you can denote as m fourth or mm fourth or cm fourth, whatever. So this will be your unit of moment of inertia. Okay, this is the theoretical part. No need to go through the derivation, because just you have studied in engineering mechanics. This is the revision of your engineering mechanics, so no need to worry about this. This is the theoretical part. So before going to one problem, I want to tell the moment of inertia for different section, that you have to remember. While we are studying in center of gravity case also, we have mentioned some section and their center of gravity distance in the lecture 2. So in this lecture, it's the same case. We can write the moment of inertia value directly by using these formulas. Suppose this is a rectangular section, the width is b and the depth is d. Suppose this is x direction, this is y direction. This is suppose the center of gravity. So if someone will tell to calculate the moment of inertia for this section, suppose Ixx means this is along the x direction, okay, along the base. I am not denoting every time the axis y axis because it will be more clumsy. So no need to mention everywhere. So this is the center of gravity value. If someone will tell to calculate the value along x direction, then you can use that formula BDQ by 12. That means what? Base into depth q by 12. The same case, Iyy value you can calculate. Iyy means along vertical direction. So along the vertical direction, what is the base? D is the base and B is the height. So the same case will be just opposite, that is dBQ by 12. Okay, this is the inertia value along the centroidal axis. Okay, so for the next section I am denoting here only. Suppose the next section is suppose triangle. Triangle base is suppose B, height is H. Suppose this is G. So if someone will tell to calculate the value along the center of gravity, that is G, so this value will be BHQ by 36. But in that case, if someone will tell to calculate the value along the base, so that will be different. So along the base, suppose it is ABC. So IBC will be BDQ by 12. But our centroidal inertia will be BHQ by 36. It should be H because we are writing H. So BHQ by 12, this will be BHQ by 36. Same case here also. If someone will tell along the base, that will be BDQ by 3 and DBQ by 3. That no need to go, but still I am writing here. Along base, suppose A, B, C, D. So ICD will be BDQ by 3 and IBC will be DBQ by 3. But this has no use. Always it will be asked along our centroidal axis. No need to calculate along the base. Always the centroidal vertical distance and the centroidal inertia will be used. And the third section, suppose our circle. Suppose this is G and the diameter of that section is D and radius is section R. So the inertia value will be along the centroidal axis, that will be our pi d4 by 64. This is the moment of inertia value along centroidal axis of a circle. This is the solid circle. If someone will tell to calculate the value along hollow circle, suppose the center of gravity is G, okay, the outer diameter is suppose D and the inner diameter is suppose small d, that outer one capital D, inner one small d. So you can calculate the value, just same value pi by 64. The difference is the outer diameter and inner diameter difference we have to mention, that is capital D4 minus small d4. This is the fourth case. This is hollow circle, this is solid circle. Hollow section, solid section. Hollow means there will be two diameter, one is outer, another one is inner diameter. So last section that is not much use, but still, suppose in case of semicircle. So this is semicircle. Suppose the radius is R, here is G, suppose O. So in this section, the centroidal axis moment of inertia will be 0.11 R4. R is the radius here. This is not much use, but still remember this for case of semicircle. Mostly it will be used circle, rectangle and triangle. Circle may be solid or hollow circle. So next case, two theorems are there in this moment of inertia chapter. One is parallel axis theorem, another one is perpendicular axis theorem. So after this theorem, I will tell this lecture will be over. So first I will see what is parallel axis theorem. There is no derivation is required for this theorem. Just remember the statement and the formula how to calculate the value of using parallel axis theorem. Suppose this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Suppose there is a circle here. Suppose the distance from the centroidal axis to the below axis where the center of moment of inertia will be required. Suppose this is AB. I am not denoting the axis, just writing here AB. And every time if I will do the axis, you will get confused. So just I am writing one AB line. So distance is suppose H. The area of that section will be suppose A. So if someone will tell to calculate the moment of inertia along centroidal axis, that is about centroidal axis moment of inertia will be already told, what will be pi d4 by 64 if the diameter is D and radius is smaller. So this will be pi d4 by 64. But if someone will tell to calculate the inertia value along AB line, so how to calculate along AB? that in that case parallel axis theorem will be used. Now how to calculate AB? This AB can be calculated by using parallel axis theorem. It is telling that the inertia about this line will be the summation of the moment of inertia about central axis, suppose Ig, and plus the multiplication of the area of that section, that is A, into the distance between the central axis and towards the section where it is required. So the distance from the central axis to that line, that will be h. The square of that will give you the moment of inertia about AB line. So this is the parallel axis theorem. So in any case you can calculate this value by using parallel axis theorem. Suppose I am again explaining here, the line AB is far distance from that circle. Suppose the distance is h from the central axis to that line, that is h, and that area of section is suppose A, and the inertia about central axis you already know. So just add the inertia about central axis plus the area of that section into h square, the distance from the center of gravity to that line. So this will give you the moment of inertia about AB line. So I want to give one example of in the application of this theorem. Suppose in the previous board I just written, suppose the rectangular section, the width is B and the depth is D. So the center of gravity is, I already written here, suppose it is BDQ by 12, but along the base I just written the formula. So now I will calculate here. Suppose IAB, I want to calculate it. It came BDQ by 3, so I will prove here how it is coming BDQ by 3. Suppose the central axis value is already told BDQ by 12, that is Ig, already written here BDQ by 12 along to the, according to the parallel axis theorem, I am writing here BDQ by 12 plus area of that section. Area is BD, area of rectangular section. H means the center of gravity to that distance, that will be D by 2 whole square. So it will be BDQ by 12 plus BD into D square by 4. So it is coming BDQ by 12 plus BDQ by 4. So here you can calculate it, 3 BDQ by 12. So that will be 4 BDQ by 12. So that will be equal to BDQ by 3. 4 3s are 12. So hence it is proved of parallel axis theorem. For your better understanding, I calculated for rectangular section. In rectangular section, I already written in the previous BDQ by 12. Along the base, I have written here BDQ by 3. Just I have written the formula. You can calculate by using parallel axis theorem along the AB. So Ig, put it here. This is Ig plus area of rectangular section is BD. So this is A, and this is central distance, that is H, means this distance. This will be D by 2. Just after calculating, we are getting BDQ by 3. Hence it is proved parallel axis theorem. Hope it will be clear. Next, the last part of this lecture, that is perpendicular axis theorem. I hope you are noting down while I am writing the board. So the second and last theorem, that is perpendicular axis theorem. This is much easier than parallel axis theorem because here you just add two moment of inertia about two directions. Suppose we have generally three direction in every case. Suppose this is the origin, so this is x direction, this is in the board, suppose this is x, this is y, and one more direction that I cannot show in 2D board, that is perpendicular these two axes that will be coming towards outward. So I just showed here, suppose this is our z section. So this is perpendicular to both the axes, like x and y are perpendicular, this is x, this is y, like this z will be ours also perpendicular to both the axes. So these three direction we already noted here. Suppose the moment of inertia about axis direction is Ixx and the moment of inertia about y direction is suppose Iyy. So if someone will tell to calculate the moment of inertia about another axis, suppose Izz. So in that case the parallel axis theorem will not work. In that case you have to use perpendicular axis theorem. In that case you just have to do add both the inertia about both the direction. Just summation of this both will give you the moment of inertia about another direction. So this is the perpendicular axis theorem. Suppose the statement is, suppose the moment of inertia about x direction is Ixx, along the y direction is Iyy, then to calculate the moment of inertia in another direction perpendicular to that both the direction, that is along z direction, in that case the moment of inertia can be calculated by summation of both the inertia along both the direction. So this is all about perpendicular axis theorem. And details note about this, all the theory part I will give you later. So till now just note it down whatever I am writing in the board. So this is the all the theoretical part about moment of inertia. In the next class I will solve one or two problem related to moment of inertia. So at that moment the moment of inertia chapter will be more clear, and next lecture will be the end of the first chapter, that is the review of your basic concept about your engineering mechanics. So lecture 3 I wind up here. Thank you. If any doubt you can contact me.